All right, are we having fun yet? Now we're going to get into segmenting. Now you kind of understand the picture of what we're going to be doing with your leads. Just thinking about the store analogy, the aisles, the overhanging signs. You know, if you're going for lettuce, you're going over here for the lettuce. You're not going over to the freezer goods or back to the meat. You know exactly where you're going. And what does this do for you? It really allows you, again, to never lose another lead. And my motto, no lead left behind. Different parts of a database. This is raw data. This is pre-presentation. We don't have the picture on this one yet. So when you look at the parts of the dashboard, I want to be able to know who my priority leads are by being able to know the most important thing are the new leads coming in and where are they in the process. So that's the whole purpose of our phone calls. And we need to be accessing those leads very quickly. How many of you task after the first call, call 2, call 3, call 4, to remember who to call? Well, why don't we just put systems and filters in place to automate that and remove the tasks? Hello, who loves tasks? Hate them. So the main objective with every lead in your dashboard is find out where they are in the process and keep them. We are naive if we think we own that lead and we are the only dashboard that that lead is in. I promise you, they've Googled more than once, and they've been in Zillow, they've been in Realtor.com, they've been in competitions dashboards, and they're in yours. The average lead is in 3 different dashboards. Who is going to be the lucky one that wins? The one that knows where they are in the process. Once you have the conversation, you know how and why to follow up. And then it's your job to make sure that you keep them engaged to prevent them from Googling and going somewhere else again. Think about when you are shopping a product. Is it easier to go back into your email and search your email for who has sent you previous information, or is it just quicker to ask Siri or ask Alexa or ask Google? It's so much easier just to do it again because then it pops right up. You don't have to go searching. Just remember, every lead in your dashboard is not yours to keep. They are free to do business with who they want to do business with, and it's your job to be what? Convenient. Okay? The top 3 identifiers of the leads that are highest priority to increase our conversion before the conversation. It's the new leads coming in. What are your systems in place to make sure all the new leads are called within a considerable amount of time? What about all the leads in your dashboard that you have never spoke with? All of the attempting to contact. Now we've got your contacted leads that you've spoke to, and those can go in 2 different places. They can go to those that qualify for time on your calendar, in my opinion, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And then you've got all of those that suck up your time because they really have no need for your services anywhere in the near future. They're so far out, or they're such a lower priority because they may have, they may be credit challenged, they may be in a rental for the next year, or they may be in a 2-year lease. All those reasons you're like, oh, it's going to take so long to get to a settlement. I have so many leads, it's not worth my time to task myself. How many of you have overdue tasks? I really dislike working my tasks because it's mundane. It's one at a time. You open it up, you read it, you complete the action, you go to the next. It takes forever. If you work your leads by the masses, if you have 10, 15 leads in the exact situation and you want to pull them up and have a call filter, or you want to pull them up and send a mass email, or you want to send a mass text, you can work 15 leads at one time because they all fall in the same situation. When we're looking at the different parts of the database, it's seriously your new, the people that you never spoke to and the people that you spoke to. There's really no differential from those three. You know, now we can get into this sphere of influence and circle prospecting. Yes, we can get into all of that. However, we are talking about the leads that are in your dashboard now, not how they're being generated, because they're all going to fall into one of these three categories, okay? When we talked about the contacted and the stop overtasking, it's so mundane. It makes me want to just poke out my eyeballs because it's just, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. So when we talk about tasking, thinking about your tasks, we want to increase efficiency and we want to stop the overtasking. It's not fun. Let's make this fun. That's what this game is all about. How do we know where to spend our time when we sit down our dashboard? Whether it's an agent that is using their lead generation time or you have an ISA, makes no difference. We've trained our team and we've built our systems that within an hour's time frame, depending on the platform, there's a lot of variables with every platform on how the dialer is integrated within the system, on the speed that we can act. You know, if you have the dial coming back to your phone, and you got to press 1 and then it connects, that's a lot longer than being able to queue up 25 people in a call filter and just go next, 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 next. So it really all depends upon the platform, but we can seriously dial, and this is what we get through in 1 hour, 45 to 70 dials in 1 hour. And that is all dependent upon how many people answer the phone, as well as what the database allows for with the dialing. This right here is where the systems come into play so that you don't have to task your next calls of people that you haven't spoke to. People that you haven't spoke to, they don't deserve your time. Why are you spending time with people you never spoke to? Everybody's like, oh, they need their searches set up. I'm like, why? Oh, so you're gonna go give them search. And then when you finally talk to them, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. My sister's an agent. She's outside the area. She doesn't have access to the MLS. And I was on looking at properties. Thank you so much for sending them to me because we just wrote a contract yesterday. Come on now. Don't make it easy for them if you haven't talked to them. After you talk to them, make it easy for them. Spend your time on people that you spoke to, not the potential opportunity that we have no idea where they are in the process. The game is using our time at its highest and best use, and we can't do it if we're spending our time in the wrong places. Phone call, phone call, phone call. What is the priority one? You should be calling your new leads as they're coming in every day. Now, I'm not like 5 minutes, 5 minutes. A Google lead, it's within 24 hours, folks. They're on every single website, and we will get into how you overcome the objection if everyone says, speed to lead, 5 minutes. We'll get to that in a later time whenever we're talking about actually having conversations and what our questions look like. New leads need worked on a daily basis. So they need that call. They need that text. They need that email. 3 forms of communication today, folks. Second priority, who are these leads? They are in a filter that moves them automatically based upon 2 dynamics. After you call the lead, right? We look at the stages: new, attempting contact, and contacted. When a lead comes into a dashboard, it comes in as a new lead. Depending on the dashboard that you have, new is called something different in every dashboard. New is when the lead comes in. The next stage, after you attempt that phone call, they need to come out of new. So you can define who your new leads are. Now they're in attempting contact stage. And again, depending upon your platform, whatever word makes the most sense for attempting contact, they fall into that. They stay in that category until you what? Have a conversation with them. That's how you define every lead in your dashboard that you've never spoke to. This priority 2, they stay in there for 2 weeks. In my mind, the lead is the hottest to attempt to connect with in the first 2 weeks because it's fresh. They have registered the last 14 days and we're attempting that contact. How do they get out of that filter? Day 15, because they fall out because the filter's set for 14 days. Or you have a conversation and move them out of that stage and they automatically come out. So let's say you had 10 leads come in today. They're new, you call them, the 10 leads come into the priority 2. When they're in the priority 2, you're at 10. 10 are in your call queue. You have a conversation with 2, you're down to 8. Or they're in there for 15 days, you have newer leads coming in, these leads are moving out. So you're always focusing on the leads that you know you're supposed to be calling every day at different times of the day because we want to increase the conversation. But you don't have to think about or task and remember who you should be calling back. What is the third priority? Third priority, when they come out of priority 2, they drop into the priority 3 bucket because it's day 15. Now, if you have IDX in your system, that is where this is beautiful, because we've set this filter up on day 15, they fall into it and they stay in it as long as they're actively engaged looking at properties, opening the emails, coming back to the website, looking at properties. They'll stay in there until they're inactive for 30 days. So this filter is they registered 15 or more days ago. If you have a dashboard that is, I have some people that have leads that are over 1,000 days old. If they're actively engaged in looking, they're falling in this filter if you've never spoke to them. You don't have to think about it. We call these on a weekly basis. So today, we make the phone call. Tomorrow, we'll send a text. The next day, we'll send an email. And we repeat every 7 days. Simple, right? Don't overcomplicate this, folks. And why do you think this is one of your highest priority leads in a dashboard? When you look at a dashboard, this is the most exciting thing ever. When I go into a dashboard and I filter registration, 15 or more, and I put most recent active in the last 30 days, good phone number, and I pull that list up, and then I go registration date, and I want to pull it up by the lead that registered the longest time ago. And it says 800 days, active an hour ago, never spoke to. Yes, score. Folks, this is how you are going to jump in your dashboard and create instant business. And I'm going to repeat this. Do not be attached to the outcome of the appointment. Fall in love with the process of the conversation. You can't make somebody's time frame right to buy or to sell. You have to understand what their needs are and their expectations, and is there an opportunity to meet their expectations at that time? And if there's not, when is that time that's going to meet their expectations based on their situation? That is the most important thing to find out when you sit down to call leads. What is the priority for? These are all the inactives. They have not looked at a single property in your dashboard for over 30 days. This is going to be the biggest portion of your dashboard. So leads have not actively engaged and you've never spoke to them. And this is going to fall from 31 days to however old your first lead is that you generated. You're going to have different segments in this situation. Why we say monthly communication, this is all variable. Depends on how many leads you have coming in to how much time you can spend with the inactive leads. This cannot be mass communicated. You may have 800 leads that are inactive. Break them down into the favorite city that they're looking in. Break them down to the price point that they're looking in and send out properties and reactivate them. The beautiful thing is, if you have a great CRM, as soon as they become active, they're going to fall right back into that third priority because boom, they're active within 30 days. They stay there for 30 days. You're going to be calling them every 7. That's 4 attempts in 1 month of a lead that you would have regardlessly lost. The importance of building these systems, I cannot tell you what it's going to mean for your conversion.